Now,
Yes, we are live right now. Welcome to Intelligent Ish Talk Hotep Ish. You know, I like to talk my shit where we like to troll and have a good time, have intelligent shit talk and intelligent ish talk.
mhm.
We are here with our favorite guest, Dr. Randy Short, to talk about the 2020 election is going down right now. Today, and otolaryngology. Going down, and we see there's a race. People are they're over here saying who's gonna win. You got people worried, biting their nails, thinking that the world's gonna change when it wakes up in the morning because we got a new president, not understanding that goddamn it ain't a motherfucking thing gonna change because that's how this country designed to do. Either way it goes, whether you're voting for Biden or Trump, we got jokes for both sides of them, and we got some real shit, some real talk. And so yeah, welcome, Dr. Randy Short. How you doing today, my man?
Well, I'm very happy. This is a good day. It's a good day for singing a song. It's a good day for moving along. It's a good day for watching Biden lose. It's a good time. I'm just elated. I'm seeing coons lose their mind, pork chop feminists just blowing gaskets, having and black men getting blamed for everything. This 911 blame a nigger politics, I love it. If I did something to mess up the election of Joe Biden, blame me. I mean, I will happily carry that cross. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me tell you something. I sent you my map. Remember, I sent you my map of the election?
Yes.
Okay. If you look at how the map is filling in, I basically called this thing the Pacific Coast. I didn't give him Arizona, but he has Arizona. That in reality is the only state. Maybe Minnesota will not go will go to Biden, but everything else I called, and I'm not a trained pollster. And in fact, you can pull up the map I sent you and said this is how it's gonna go.
I'm surprised that Biden is winning Arizona. That's a surprise to me.
No. Why wouldn't you? Look, those people cheat down there. Stolen identification in Texas, New Mexico, California. These are capitals of ID theft. And they do everything they can to do sanctuary stuff there. So, and those people have been promised citizenship by Biden. It's a bribe. Vote for me. I'll allow you people who are in the country unlawfully to get the benefits of citizenship, whereas I locked up all the black people because of their skin color. So they're voting for him. And particularly, remember, those areas are heavily Chicano and Mexican, all right? Their politics is going to be different from the Cubans and Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, right? Venezuelans, different.
You know what's sad about Biden? As I look at this electoral map, Biden is losing by 15 points in his home state of Pennsylvania. That's never a good look when you lose, not only lose your home state, but he's kind of getting his ass whooped right now in his home state. That's not a good look.
He's getting his ass whooped in Pennsylvania without anyone getting to know who he really is. Imagine if people knew that he used to rape his 5-year-old daughter.
Ooh.
What he shouldn't even be in the race. Someone should pick up their phone and make a citizen's arrest and have Joe Biden put in jail. And Hunter Biden put in jail right now.
Man, those are a couple
and I have no respect for any women's rights advocates at all. For a family of men that molest and abuse women on a level equal to or worse than anything that's said about Trump. And we talk about Trump and Stormy Daniels and all the allegations against him. That can be discussed, but Biden, in fact, you can't even share information over the internet without being put off if you dare prove what you're saying, not hearsay.
Yeah.
You've seen the link. If I can prove what I'm saying, I will punish you. Don't tell the truth. Now, maybe they can prove something on Trump. It's in the courts. Biden's people were never even allowed to get to the court. I don't believe that Biden won Delaware. I don't. Okay, nobody likes this man. He's not interesting.
Not interesting at all. Here's the thing with the whole Biden thing, man. It's just that he has a lot of people that he's been, when you've been in Washington that long, you have a lot of enemies too. You know what I mean? And they couldn't play the clean cut image of Biden. They couldn't say that they couldn't talk about his policy. His whole thing was get Trump out. And that's not good enough when you're dealing with a base that Trump has that's highly motivated to get out and say what they have to say at the poll. The Democrats, I think, failed this time around like they did last time around with the person that they chose to run their political party.
Well, they like failures. Sort of like sisters like rotten dudes. Certain ones like having sex between the prison bars on the weekend versus having a regular man that's with them, when they finish work. You've seen the type. Yes, you have. Sure you have. They're gangster hoes that like guys that are in court and drama. I guess they like seeing them in orange with handcuffs. And they would not talk to a dude in the Brooks Brothers who, fuck that faggot. I don't think it's responsible, right? I mean, we see this. And by the way, it's, again, black men's fault, right? That she won't pick a good man. It's your and my fault, Dwann.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Look, first of all, I want to shout out the chat room. Brandon, Tony in the chat room. Danielle, everybody, Shawnee, Poppin', thank y'all for joining the chat room. By popular request, yes, we do have Dr. Randy Short here in the house, giving us the business and telling us what's going on in this election cycle. I want to give a quick a couple shout outs to for the Cash App donations on previous shows to Cara, Portia. We got Jason Adams, Quentin, GL, Rosalind, Phil. Man, thank y'all for donating to the Cash App on previous shows. Please go ahead and feel free to donate on this show. We have Dr. Randy Short's Cash App right here on the screen. You see it, you see it, you see it. Donate, because this man, he just finished doing like a long-ass Zoom call with a bunch of people broadcasting. He's been busy all day. Now he's here bringing in the nightcap, letting us know what's going on with this election. Dr. Randy Short, man, it's been a whole lot going on with this election. I want to make it clear to people when we talk about the feminists. Part of the main reason, hold on. Let me speak for myself. When I talk about feminism, and when I talk down to it, we're talking about it because feminism is something that's being used to split the black family. Feminism is nothing that came from a black woman's mind. That's where, like, that right there should tell you what it is. Feminism, let me say that slowly. Feminism is not something that came from the mind of a black woman. That's something that white women had an issue with their husbands, their sons, their fathers, and recruited black women into to do because to voice. Because at the end of the day, white women know they have no legitimate gripes, especially after affirmative action got passed. Hell, they're the biggest beneficiaries from affirmative action. These are the people who raised the motherfuckers that they complaining about. So they know they don't have no talk. They know they ain't got shit to say. They don't have a legitimate gripe. So they had to recruit sisters. They had to recruit black women. And unfortunately, over the last 60 years, there have been too many, not all, but too many who have fallen for the bullshit. And that bullshit has been a primary factor in keeping the black family down, splitting the black family apart. Look at the Democrats now. Everything, black women, black women, black women, black women, black women. They don't do that to no other group. I don't know if y'all noticed that shit.
But you know what?
Don't do that to no other group but us.
But you know what? And there's no other group of women that allow their men to be disrespected like that. It says something about the character of the women that let their men collectively be treated that way. And that's a defect. It's a cultural, psychological defect in our society as Black folks, and it has to be addressed. And this is same way they talk about deadbeat dads. Well, we have deadbeat sisters. They're not on code. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They've done this for decades. I remember sitting in class at Harvard and folks would say, well, literally teachers, professors of all colors, well, you Black guys aren't that good, but your women are great. And this would be said, and this is normal. And I'm thinking, I never saw that done with anybody else. I've never seen one Black woman say, I don't like this in 30, 35 years. Okay, and that means that somebody likes this game of appreciating women more than men while claiming to be the victim, while benefiting from a type of gender bias and discrimination against Black men collectively, while saying, well, this used to happen to us, so we have to fuck you today for what used to happen to people. And Black men, professors and other people, they're the biggest kumbaya, suck up, weak ass men I've ever seen. Jeffrey Epstein, Mr. Weinstein, the most degenerate white men, the rape, the molesters, they don't ever have to be humble or repentant for what they have done. Black men, the good ones, not the rotten ass men, are expected to be repentant and apologetic for stuff that they didn't do.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. Fuck that. Fuck it. It's over. The white women that told you could do that, it's not happening anymore. And it's not just me. It's going to spread all over the country. Nobody will care anymore. There was a period of time, I was in Nigeria about 10 years ago, maybe longer than that. No, 11 years ago. And I was telling the guys there, y'all are too rude to the women that you have here. Yeah, you shouldn't do this, right? Says, man, you don't know how good you have it that the women in your community work with you and respect you. That can go south real fast. And they laughed at me. Now, mind you, I wouldn't want for them to treat women without respect or dignity, okay? Even if it's not advantageous for me to speak up because I don't like unfairness. The same shoes should be on women when you're a Black female teacher and you're at a school and your honor society is 100% female, and that doesn't strike you as, why aren't any of the boys bright? And we don't hold Black women's feet to the fire on that. I do. It doesn't matter to me how it upsets people. There is a lack of discipline emotionally in our community on all sides, inclusive of the female side, where folks aren't bussed out and called out. For example, when Shirley Chisholm ran for president against the Congressional Black Caucus to help the white lesbians and feminists, which hurt the Black community, people did not say, we're against the Black women that voted for Shirley Chisholm. Listen to what Maxine Waters said about Black men that vote for Trump.
Oh, yeah.
So in other words, we have a double standard in our community, and it comes out of white supremacy, where women get to do things that men don't get to do, at the same time claiming to be oppressed and held down. And my question is, wait a minute. If you're the majority of the people that go to college and get good jobs, what do you mean you're oppressed? Relative to what? We're oppressed as a collective. You mean you're more oppressed than I am? Are you kidding me? You're oppressed differently within the same white supremacist system, but not more so.
That's the thing right there. I want to bring out 2 points. One, let's talk about Maxine Waters earlier today said basically she's never going to forgive Black men who voted for Trump. First of all, it's people's right to vote for however the hell they want to vote, and however you feel about it ain't your business.
Let me speak to her.
Go ahead.
First of all, Maxine Waters needs to resign and she needs to retire. I'm never going to forgive Maxine Waters for being one of the key representatives that helped get the Biden bill through Congress to mass incarcerate Black people, in particular Black men. I'm not going to forgive Maxine Waters for when she was talking about the CIA bringing cocaine into Black communities, that she let it go, and that she never acknowledged 25 years ago that she's an accomplice to the mass incarceration of Black people. Maxine Waters is a liar. Maxine Waters is a fraud. Maxine Waters is from East St. Louis, Illinois. She hasn't done a damn thing for the poorest Black community, urban community in the Midwest. Who is she to talk about anything? Maxine Waters' husband is a crook. Maxine Waters has supported the militarization of the police. Maxine Waters supports illegals and doesn't stand up for foundational Black Americans in her own congressional district. Maxine Waters is a major advocate for the Gay Equality Act, which would legalize pedophilia. Maxine Waters stands for nothing but her own enrichment. There's nothing. No, Maxine, she needs.
I want to piggyback off what you're saying, because look, I want to tell you right now, me, Dwann Brown, I live right now in Maxine Waters' district. Maxine is somebody who, my mom was very political. I remember Maxine Waters when she was here on the state level, before she even went national. It was her and a woman named Barbara Boudreaux. Those were the two that was going at it back in the early 90s here in LA over who was going to win that state, that Congress seat. And Maxine Waters, me being in her district right now, I'm going to tell you right now, I voted for Joe Collins. My first time in my life, I've voted for a Republican in my district. But I didn't vote for Joe Collins because I think that he's some very extra special guy. I don't necessarily like all the money behind him from the Republicans. I'm thinking like, okay, what the fuck going on? But at the same time, Maxine Waters don't fuck with us. I only see Maxine Waters at Jazz at Drew. I see her at the Taste of Soul. I see if Frankie Beverly and Maze is gonna be there, Maxine Waters is gonna be there. But if the Gap Band ain't performing, I ain't seen that funky head bitch nowhere. And this is what really pisses me off about it. I don't know if y'all remember this. A couple years ago, some white supremacists, and I think it's 2018, 17, somewhere around there, they said that they were going to go to Maxine Waters' office and basically ride on her office. And so I was there. Like, even back then, I wasn't the biggest Maxine supporter, but it was the principle of we're not going to have no white dudes coming down to 108th and Broadway and feeling safe and secure doing anything. Fuck Maxine Waters. This is about the principle. So at that day, in front of her office was full of Black men. You had some Black women out there too. Shouts out Linda J. She was out there. I was out there with some other people. But we saw some white dudes come up. Them white dudes got checked and handled. It was a white dude in a gray or silver F-150 with like these big ass flags. A nigga jumped up in there and pulled the flags out. We was there to protect Maxine Waters. Like I said, not because we agree with her political agenda. Most of us out there knew she wasn't shit. That was part of the discussion. The dudes was like, man, Waters, I can't tell you nothing she really done for us. I can't tell you even anything but the principle of some white dudes saying that they're going to come down to our neighborhood. They're going to do anything. That was a problem. So we was out there. Maxine Waters, in her district, she's in a district, like when people think about LA, they think of Watts. Watts isn't the most dangerous part of LA, and it hasn't been the most dangerous part of LA for 20 years. The most dangerous part of LA is over there for the last 20 years, basically the Normandy and Century area. That's right smack dab in the middle of Maxine Waters district. We haven't seen nothing but jobs leave, no jobs come into that area, and the jobs that have come to the area, they've gone tech, and there's no training in the schools for the tech job. And when it comes to the construction jobs, nothing but Mexicans get those jobs. So it's like when we get a federal contract to build something like the federal money that was sent to build the subway system and to build the line, ain't no black contractors getting up on that. That's what your Congress people are for. You can't get a black contractor to bid when you got this train coming through ripping our neighborhood apart. Maxine Waters, man, like, look, like I said, I've only seen her at the music festivals. I ain't seen that bitch nowhere else. I ain't look. Maxine Waters, I'm trying to think. What happened? I ain't even seen her at the wig shop. She live in Hancock Park. Hancock Park it's not that far out of the district, but it's still out the district. Oh, here's another cool thing about Maxine Waters. In Maxine Waters district, she has one of the wealthiest black neighborhoods in the country. We talking about View Park, Ladera Heights, Baldwin Hills. When I got to my senior year in high school, we moved to View Park. My parents got a damn view of the city at their house. If they decide to live on the Baldwin Hills side, Baldwin Hills has some of the biggest, most beautiful homes in America. View of the city, all that shit. Why wouldn't you want to live in your district around black people? Like my wife was raised in Ladera. The city councilman back in the 90s on her block, they lived Julian Dixon, they lived on the block. Like we used to see in View Park Ladera, we're used to seeing black politicians. Who the fuck is Maxine Waters and not want to live in Ladera Heights around all them successful black people? That's who Maxine Waters is. She don't really fuck with us like that.
Maxine Waters, I'll give you an experience. Maxine Waters was tight with the folks in Haiti. There was some corruption involved with Aristide. She's connected to it. Her husband, there's some issues there. They were going to investigate her. She made a deal. Because of whatever. Now, here's the allegation. The allegation is her husband kind of like girls young. You've heard this too. Yes, you have. And he's done some unscrupulous business things.
Yep.
Okay. They were going to bag Maxine. Obama's administration was going to dog her. And the deal that I believe was cut was that Maxine agreed to become Coon's sister number one. And to just be the biggest attack dog of the Democrats, as long as they let her have her benefits, don't throw her or her husband's ass in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a little video up where Maxine is saying that black folks are going to have to grow up and embrace the whole LGBTQ thing. It's up there on YouTube. Now, Maxine, you mean you're promoting this? If you're a promosexual, you're as guilty as the persons that are involved. Now, you're right there in LA. How do you think that she moves among these feminist type? I don't know what deal she cuts, but it all seems to go together, Mr. Dwann. That if you get their money and you're at their house, they bring you into what they do.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say that's how they do it. I'm not saying she's there, but there's a chance. Now, one more piece. On September 17th, 2018, when they had Dick Gregory's funeral at Jericho City of Praise out in Prince George's County, Maryland, same day as my mother's 75th birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
I had to run from my mom's party to go to try to give some respect to Mr. Gregory, who I knew, who, I don't know, he claimed I was funny and I had a gift. Dick Gregory thought so.
Yeah.
That must count for something.
It definitely counts.
For Dick Gregory to think I had promised And Dick Gregory more than one time said, I need to put you on radio. So he did try. I've never told anybody this but you, but now y'all know. Back in 2008, I said C.T. Vivian's birthday party. He had a heart attack and had a long conversation with Dick. And Mr. Gregory said, I'm going to do what I can to get you on radio. You're really good. You have no idea. Anyway, well, we're going to make it. And that meant a lot to be taken to the Atlanta Sheraton to have dinner with Dick Gregory. And him just encouraged me to keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
So Dick Gregory said, you're good. You're very good. You have no idea. Just keep doing. Anyway, but at Dick's funeral, Maxine Waters came up and she made a comment to my cousin, Bill Cosby. And she says, a friend in need is a friend indeed. And if you need something, reach out to me. I just want to say something to you. If Maxine Waters gave a goddamn about Bill Cosby, there's all kinds of things she could have done. Not even making him innocent, but just ask a question. But Maxine's a liar because she's friends with that Jewish extortion artist, Gloria Allred.
Oh my God, that bitch.
That's Maxine's friend.
Oh God.
So this Jewish woman who shakes down every black man who's ever done anything stupid or immoral or sexual that he can be accused of, including the late Herman Cain, Gloria Allred goes after them. So you mean Maxine is her friend and she's Bill Cosby's friend at the same time? And by the way, she can't forgive black men. Well, I can't forgive Maxine for being friends to Gloria Allred.
Hey.
See, we need to start. I'm telling you, no, it's time to make war on pork chop feminism. I mean, you think just because you got a pie hole, I don't have one? You think because you have an attitude, I can't have an attitude? Where did this it bullshit come from in the black race that a lot of these pork chop feminists have? It comes from white supremacy. Mm-hmm. Fighting against feminism in our community is a form of resistance against white supremacy. And too few black men have taken this cross up, and they need to. Now, they're great folks. My heroes, like Daisy Bates or C. Dolores Tucker, who I used to work for, I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
that's a cool one of the best people I've ever met. And if I can, man, at some point in my life, if I can get my stuff together, I will do something to honor that woman and the stuff she was trying to do for the black family and for black women. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't a feminist.
Yeah.
She was about black women, black people, and I am, I'm kind of confused. So to me, when a person says to me they're feminist, to me, they're a traitor to the black community. Just, mm-hmm. You're a traitor. Mm-hmm. That's like me saying I am into Ayn Rand. You know, the whole thing about it's bad to do anything for poor people and only give money to rich people. When I meet mm-hmm. black libertarian, those folks are enemies of the community, period. So it's interesting that black conservative men can be hated in our community, but we have a hard time confronting leftist, liberal, bohemian, out the box, pork chop feminists.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I'm doing this because eventually a couple of other men are going to realize I'm not saying keep women in the kitchen chained to an oven or a refrigerator. I don't talk like I don't think like that. But I was sharing with someone. I had an experience with pork chop feminism. I was in a store buying something, paid for it. The person, they were black and female. They were mean, unfriendly, hostile. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, Dwann. I'm not even.
Yeah.
And you're disrespecting me in front of everyone without a cause. And At a certain point, they smile and they look over at the woman behind them. And what they're looking at is the white Klansmen who are handymen repairing the roof of the store. And they're just trying to get these white men's attention. And these women are overweight, they're covered in tattoos, weaves, and they're thinking that those white men would want them. In the midst of this, they were so busy staring at the white men who had the Klan tattoos, but they're so stupid. A lot of folks think that a pussy means that they don't have to deal with racism. Keep believing it.
Hey.
Go ahead. Be my guest until your ass gets kicked behind it. It's coming. Let me tell you, it's in the mail, your letter. The letter of life. Okay. As they're staring, trying to sweet talk these white men who are very disgusted at these women talking to them, they didn't give me the merchandise that I paid for, in spite of all the, I greeted them, they grew back. And when I said, may I have my bag? They snapped at me. By the way, not one shot did I fire at them. I've been shot about 50 times. I used to never say anything about it because I'm thinking, man, had a hard life, probably been abused. But I realized, why do I have to become a dartboard for all this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting, why is it that you putting all this hate into the universe and the atmosphere towards everyone, no matter how they conduct themselves, right? And there's no consequence for it. And since then, I have been very quick to let people have it. Stick it to them. Because sometimes people need to have that. You get where I'm coming from. And that's a challenge to a lot of our people, that we have to start doing that. Because a lot of folks don't think, and how this feminist thing has been very, very, very dangerous to our community. There is a film, there's a book called After Mecca. And I'm playing with it because something is going on that's really incredible. You will not believe what's going on. My phone battery all of a sudden is super hot.
Oh wow! I be fucking with your phone, man. Oh shit! Oh, it looks like DrShort is out of the building. Damn. You know how it is when we talking that real shit. They like fucking with everything over here. They like fucking with the stream. They like fucking with they really like fucking with his phone. I'm not on my eCam. That I usually do this on eCam, and I can't do that because that requires Skype. And I can never get him on Skype because they be fucking with him. So I got a whole new little setup that I use for DrShort because they be fucking with his stream. But while he's out of here, I see per people in the chat room. Look, if you don't like what we talking about, if you don't like our approach to what we talking about, look, you should be used to it because you never liked a damn thing that your mama talked about with your daddy. That's why they wasn't together. God damn it. So don't be coming up in this chat room talking shit because we don't like what we're saying. Look, if you need some attention, it's not our fault. You know what I mean? It's not our fault that your grandmama kicked you out of the house because he was too ugly. You feel me? None of your business. So if you don't like what we're saying, leave. All right? We gonna say what the fuck we want to say, unfiltered. We gonna talk about politicians. We gonna talk about personal experience. We gonna look. If we sat around talking about, I want to sit around and scratch my nuts all day. God damn it! If you in here listening, shut the fuck up and listen. God damn, when did people start feeling that they so goddamn important that they can just shift the whole check? Look, none of your business. I'm giving you more attention than you've ever gotten from your daddy, all right? You've never had a man spend this much time, more than 35, 45 seconds talking to you directly. All right. So with this being the first time in your life having a man talk to you, shut the fuck up and listen. Hold on, it's Dr. Short. Let me see what he got to say. What up, Dr. Short?
Okay, let's try it from here because that's crazy.
Oh, it's let me can you click on that link again or no?
I want
yeah.
phone, I don't want it to if it runs hot and it goes back and forth between charging, it'll run out and it'll shut off on us anyway. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Never had that situation.
Can I email the link to this phone?
Yeah,
I'll
just do that.
I'll do that right now, and then I'll email the link, the live link to this phone, and then we'll be back on. All right, give me like 2 seconds. All right, cool. Yeah, that's Dr. Short. I'm over here. I gotta send him another link to the show because his phone ran hot. Live link. There we go. There we go. Here he is. Welcome back, Dr. Short. There you go. There you go. It was cool that you left because I had to put some people in the chat room in place who felt that it was their time to shine and get attention, and I just had to shut them the fuck up. But back to what you got to say, my brother.
Yeah, I'm simply saying that in order for us to get along and to move forward, we got to do and we have to be about our business. There's a business of being a man. There's a business of being a woman. There's even a business of how you treat the next person. There are things that I see. For example, maybe it's different. You see it in Los Angeles. What I can say to you here is it's very rare that I will see a Spanish-speaking woman yelling and screaming at a Spanish-speaking man in public. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying that I haven't seen it happen often.
Good point. I haven't seen it. I'm here. I'm in the middle of it now.
Okay, right. But I know what it's like to be in situations and have someone yell and scream at me without a cause. I haven't touched your body. And this is how Black men are related to in an open space. And not a fucking peep from any woman watching it. No male, because he's hoping to get some pussy off the woman yelling and screaming. And I don't see any introspection among Black women. Why are we doing this in spaces in front of children? We're modeling something that's not healthy. And I have been in situations where I had to think about, because there were younger people, do I get this woman's ass straight? And then these young boys or girls see a Black man tear a woman down publicly. Or do I let her disrespect me, and then it's modeled that it's okay to tear a Black man down in front of people? This is something that all Black women are guilty of, that I know most, not understanding that that's not the way to go about it. I'm not saying take any abuse off of any man, but to choose to do things in such a way openly degrades everybody. I can recall working in a church, doing some stuff with youth, and there was this asshole, older, light-skinned Black woman who needed to get her ass kicked. They kept yelling and screaming at me in church. In church, brother. I don't know her. I'm trying to get away from her because I don't want any problems. Black man, Black woman, if you say something, the women they're completely, I'm saying a lot of Black women are completely dishonest about how favorite things are for them in many instances.
Yes.
They're very dishonest. In fact, pathological liars about it. And it's a power center that they have, and no one concedes power, right? So for this woman to be rude and yell and do this to me not once, but about 4 or 5 times, and I want to give her her space. Let her have her nasty, fucked up attitude and me be somewhere else. But there was another woman who was enjoying this, who kept insisting, and she's an older sister, trying to show them respect. By the way, in other cultures, older women don't do certain things to men who are mature adults.
Yes.
No, they don't try it, even though they're older. Women here overplay their hands. Black women have no idea how they overplay their hands. In a lot of instances, it doesn't have to be. And I'm not talking about being punked or ripped off by anyone. I'm just talking about being disrespectful and it carrying no consequence. I'll just tell you, I was there to work with youth at a church, and at a certain point, they're going to clean up. So we were told, they didn't ask me, but I'm in my 40s, right? Get over here. Not would you come over here, right? And just ignore it, just move. And it just one thing after the just like one disrespectful thing after the other. And I'm thinking, this is crazy because I don't talk to people like this. I'm not resisting you or taking your power away or challenging you. But this is a certain way that the sister size you up. Because if you're a man that will beat the hell out of a woman, they show respect. There's something very sick about a woman, that you have to be a violent, vicious, brutal man, and you get more respect than a respectful black man does. And that's wrong. And so what it says, if I'm looking at this as a little kid and I want respect, the respect is through being violent against women gets you more respect than being cooperative. Yes, sisters, you can model that when you treat people who are pleasant, beta males, whatever you want to call it, with total contempt, anyone that doesn't want to be treated that way says, hey, I know how to stop this by being a jackass. Right? Yeah. Children model by what they see, right? Okay. Now, this lady kept doing this. And this other fat, older, light-skinned lady kept asking me to be in an area that I keep trying to move to avoid her nasty behavior. So there's no noise. And this other lady's doing this too, right? So they're playing this. These young men are watching, and in their view, I'm weak. I can't stand this. Is like this. I absolutely could have dealt with it. And at a certain point, I asked, can I help? She yelled and screamed at you over that. And the guys would look at me like, man, you're a chump. And understand, how can I work with those young men if they realize or they think everyone can talk to you any old kind of way? You're nobody I need to respect. You get where I'm coming from? And so I left because it says, this is crazy. And by the way, she did stuff like hit my feet with the broom. And she's just doing it just over and over and over again, man. Just being a fucking bitch. When I got back to my house, I says, I can't let this go. Because the next time I go, I'll be treated with disrespect over and over in front of people. And if I raise my voice, you understand what I'm saying? The black man is this is why I don't give a fuck about what certain women think. They've never been in a situation where there's nothing that you could do that would be right as a black male. If I take it, I'm wrong. If I speak up, if I'm wrong. If I try to get away, I'm wrong. If I stay and do nothing, I'm wrong. Right? I'm just wrong. That's what white supremacy has done. And many, many of our people, sisters, reinforce it, whether they're aware of it or not. And it's very, very disgusting. Let me tell you what I did. I decided to solve this problem.
Go ahead.
I called this sister up who was one of the heads of the NAACP, and I told her, because of the circumstances of tonight, I'm going to have to relate to you in a way I never thought I'd have to relate to a woman that's senior to me in years. But the only way I can continue to be active with this church is that I be respected as a human being by everybody. She says, well, what you mean? I says, you have a friend and they have a problem. I said, your friend Sadie is a jackass or a she-ass.
Yeah.
And she's lucky I'm not a woman because I would have beat her ass. But because I'm a man, I was brought up, you respect people. I did everything. And I says, you know what? And she said, I says, no, don't you interrupt me. That's your friend. You asked me to volunteer, and then you aided and abetted her disrespecting me in front of these young men. I never raised my voice to her, never put my hands on her. I didn't do anything but what you asked me to do. To show you I'm willing to cooperate with you. All you black women, you complain too fucking much about how all black men are one way or the other. And when you're not like that, you get treated the same, if not worse than a black man that would cut your throat to take your purse. And I says, I will not take this shit anymore. So I said, you know what? She says, well, my friend has cancer. I says, look, don't give that bitch an excuse. I worked in a hospital. I was around sick people all the time. Your friend hasn't fucked since the Cultural Revolution in China. I don't care how sick she is. And I want you to take her message. If she ever disrespects me in that church, I will beat her ass like Muhammad Ali. Now all of a sudden, yeah, I'm going to be the asshole, no good black man so I can get some respect, because obviously being a Christian, being polite, being reserved, being contemplative, that doesn't count. You know what happened, don't you? I never had another problem after I said I would kick that woman's ass. I have never put my hands on a woman in my life in violence. But do you realize how pathetic that is? That I have to talk to someone like that to just be treated like a person?
You're right about that.
Black ladies out here, the only thing I understand is being treated like that, talked to like that, and when you don't, you get walked on.
I got something to say. It was happening, not just a pretty face in the chat room. You're right. It's an extension of white supremacy. It's a dysfunction, and it's something that we're here to talk about. People always, when we talk about these subjects, people say, "Well, what about the men? What about the men?" We always bad.
We're talking about the men. We're talking about the dysfunctional men.
We're talking about something.
Hold on, time.
Real quick. When we're talking about something, we stick to the subject, and when we go to that subject until we're done with that subject, and then we move on. All this other stuff of being like all this. What about the look? If you don't like what's being said, that's on you. But if we're going to get to the truth of things, we have to get to the truth of things on all sides.
Well, a lot of folks don't want it on all sides. That's part of power and a privilege that I don't get criticized. If a black entertainer, male, walked around with his ass cheeks exposed like Lizzo, he would be attacked around the clock.
Facts.
He would be. There is, white supremacy has given an emolument of insubordination and arrogance and being off base, off square, and off code to pork chop feminism.
You heard about that? No, Star, I'll get you in the chat room. I know you weren't talking about Dr. Short. You were talking about the women who fall for it. And someone else made a good point in the chat room when you talked about what about the babies. That's the whole point of us bringing this up, because one thing about this whole feminism thing is taking the attention off the children. And the only way we're going to get through this as a people is man, woman, child. All three. That's the Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity is man, woman, child. And all this feminism shit, all this other stuff has got the attention, and then men reacting to feminism, and because of the pressure we got to deal with, it's gotten to this fight between men and women, that no one is remembering the kids. And so the way we bring the kids back into it is there needs to be a balance. Over the last 60 years, there's been an extreme balance, and it's been an imbalance that's been instigated and done by outside white supremacist forces. So the only way our sisters are going to
collaborate a pork chop feminist trend.
And and like I said, if it's too much for you in the chat room, hey, somebody just go ahead and kick none of your business out. None of your business is somebody. Time them out again. You're on timeout for 300 seconds. Now you're back in here running your mouth. You look like somebody that was raised in foster care, and your mama lived right next door. It's people like you that love all the goddamn attention but don't want to listen when motherfuckers are trying to give you game. If you don't like the game being spread here, get the fuck out.
Exactly. So, my friend, in order for us to have order, we need some people like C. Dolores Tucker. We need people like that. Maxine, maybe they were about something, but I want to remind everybody Maxine worked for Congressman Damali, and that means that Maxine and them worked with the People's Temple, Jim Jones, the ones that had the black women and babies killed, as did Nancy Pelosi, as did Barbara Lee. Oh, yes. And so I've been noticing this inconsistency when black women and babies are killed or raped or molested, a lack of action or passion by women of power and influence in Washington.
Real talk. The women don't say nothing.
Because they're in on it. And so we keep saying this whole woman thing, and we separate it out because we're making, as feminism teachers, that women somehow are more spiritual and so forth than men are. I don't believe that. They're very spiritual men. They're very spiritual women. They're very great men. They're very great women. They're very wicked women. They're very wicked men. As for the jackass in the chat room, whenever you talk about something, they insist that you talk about men too. That's bullshit. When you watch The View, when you watch Oprah, they never talk about these things with any balance. When they go in and they talk about males, it's only men. No discussion of women. Fact. So we're balancing it out by talking about what they won't talk about. If they do their damn job to deal with their part, their sphere, you wouldn't hear it from me. It's like that stupid woman in sports, Jamel Hill. Why does she
that Beetlejuice looking bitch?
Just shut up. And yeah, shut up. Find something else to do. And so in reality, we're going to have the country's going to continue to be more conservative. It's going to be far more uncomfortable to rogue, out of control, pork chop feminists than any other group of women, because a lot of them have never taken stock of how good they have it.
Yes.
If you walk around going through life thinking that you are always treated the worst of anybody, I can just assure you, Arab women get beat up. Latino women get beat up. Arab women get beat up. Farsi women get beat up. I mean, I don't like it. I'm against it. I'm just saying to you, relatively speaking, white women get beat up.
Yeah, white women get fucked up. That's why they created feminism.
But
white women don't get fucked up the way black women do.
But I'll tell you something. That violence is awful. It's reprehensible. But you know what's interesting? In spite of all of that awful stuff, they do not collectively condemn the entire group. Our situation is very different.
Good point.
And they're encouraged to collectively smear. Okay, ask any of your Spanish-speaking people about what it's like to come here from Latin America and what the men in their group do. As awful as our trifling black men that we do have in our ranks are, there is nothing that condones this inhumane treatment of women that I've seen in many places in the world in our community. I'm not aware of it. And in things that systematically exploit women, like sports or secret societies or so forth, they always have women auxiliaries that help facilitate the abuse of women.
Yeah. You know, and I want to make a point. You've made a really good point. One black male society here in the United States of America, we have no system of trafficking. Now, you get a few broke motherfuckers who want to pimp here and there and do things, and they sell off to white men. An open society, black male society, it ain't none of that trafficking shit going on. Matter of fact, if a dude came out and said he was into that kind of shit, he'd be a weirdo amongst us. We couldn't even be around us. We don't do a lot of the shit that these other people do. And I'm not saying, look, I want to make something clear to the ladies. I know it's a lot of fucked up things men have done. Most of the people who were hurt, it was your daddy who did it. So I get it. My thing is this. The things that we're doing as Black people can all be pointed back to a condition that we're placed in. When you talk about those buck-breaking farms, when you talk about all these different things that were embedded in us over hundreds of years, you have segments of our society who participate in this degenerate behavior. But
That's
overall, our society don't put that shit. We don't support that shit. We ain't down with that shit. Now, when you're dealing with a lot of these other societies, look, go watch that Netflix documentary on Jeffrey Epstein. The police was involved, politician was involved, high-level business people were involved. It wasn't just Jeffrey Epstein. Those women fell victim to a whole system of white people who had power, who facilitated what went on. Black people don't do shit like that outside of a few dumb motherfuckers that's on the side that we don't even fuck with like that. It's just one of those things, man. Like we have, as Black society goes, we have to stop co-signing every little thing these outside groups say. Because one thing these outside groups, they project their degeneracy onto us and we pick it up. And then we have a lot of, the sad part is, we have a lot of our women repeating this shit, man. We got to stop repeating all this shit that these people say about us. Because all of it's lies. Let me go ahead and break here to the election. It looks like they were trying to say earlier that it's going to win Texas. It looked like that's not going to happen.
Who?
It looked like Trump
losing in Texas.
Huh?
Who's winning Texas?
Trump is back up. Trump is up 52-46. 52% to 46 for Biden. So, and he's up by and he's up in Georgia. Of course, they're gonna win Georgia. He's up in North Carolina. Trump is up in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. All states that 3 hours ago the media was trying to call blue.
Well, why won't they call his victory? Notice how they're holding up. I'm telling you, nuns don't hold off of cooch like CNN is holding up off of giving these electoral votes to Trump. I mean, this is just ridiculous, man. It's so sad. Damn. Even the flying nun would have given us somebody now.
That's the thing. This whole election thing is a sham, man. Like, they do all this winning, polling, and all this shit to keep our attention. They be telling the polls, but they never tell you where the polls came from, what time they took the polls, location.
But they took the poll out there. They took the poll out.
Go ahead.
They took the poll out their ass. Now let me tell some sorry ass jokes for a few minutes.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Don't tell anybody, but ask the chat room, if Kamala Harris was in the van, what position would she hold?
If Kamala Harris was in the van, what position? A band,
the marching band.
What position would she hold?
Yes.
Is anybody in the band juggling balls? What position?
Cum major.
The cum major.
Yeah, there's one more. Why does Joe Biden like Cardi B?
Why not?
Why does he like Cardi B?
Why does Joe Biden like Cardi B? I don't know. Tell me.
Because he thinks WAP stands for wet ass pedophile.
He thought she was ushering in the pedophilia with her music.
Well, no, not that, because he's a wet ass pedophile.
Yes, he is.
And then he runs in his family. They're just nasty freaks.
You know what's funny? You say that. In 2016, I kept hearing all these people say, "Hey, look, a vote for Biden, a vote for Trump is a vote for pedophile." How can all these people who vote Republican vote for pedophile? Ooh, he's so bad. Biden just as bad as y'all voting for this nigga. What's wrong with your morals is what I gotta say.
Well, because they like, you know, some pedophiles is, some pedophiles ain't.
And that's the thing, man. It's like in this race, we got 2 pedophiles suspected allegedly, 2 alleged rapists. We got 2 alleged people who done. We got 2 verified dyed in the wool racists in this motherfucker. It's like it's almost it's no real difference between the 2. They both raised shitty kids. I got a question, Dr. Short. Who raised shittier kids, Trump or Biden?
Trump.
He raised shittier kids?
No, better.
Okay, it's about all I'm saying. Because Biden, your kids are dramatic. One of them died, then the one who died, the one who alive marries his widow. What kind of shit is that?
No, he didn't marry the widow. He screwed her and her daughter.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. It's just one of those things, man. It's like,
what's making all that noise? Hold on 1 second. I need to close.
I don't know what's making that noise. It's all good on my end. Ah, shit, I think they froze up Dr. Short again, man. God damn it. It looked like they froze him up again. Well, he'll be back up in here. Let's see what y'all talking about here in the chat room. He's David B. Biden about 5 times groping little girls. I think he's been more than 5 times. This motherfucker Biden, this shit, he be groping. He be looking like crazy as hell when he doing it. That motherfucker be having that old weird ass smile on his face. This motherfucker Joe Biden, for him to grope little girls like that much on camera, what the fuck is he doing when we ain't on camera? Not just pretty face said, I'm not picking no poison. The hell with both of them, exactly. On my ballot, I wrote in Dr. Funkenstein. George Clinton. That's who I wrote in for president, goddammit. Any man who can write, who at least tear the roof off the motherfucker than Atomic Dog, that should be that's a much better person in position to run this nation than either one of these 2 crackers that we got running. Yes, I do believe Biden is worse. Biden is worse for black people. That don't mean I support Trump. I don't give a fuck about Trump. Trump is a racist. Trump is sorry. He look like Orange Tang. Matter of fact, he look like an orangutan. I don't fuck with Donald Trump. Make that very clear. But what I do like, I like the fact that Trump is making these motherfuckers mad. All the non-white, non-black others, the buffer class people, the ones who identify as white on a license, but they'll want to say nigga when they're around black people, he making all them mad. He making all them nervous. And that's what I like. Because Trump is giving these motherfuckers 1/100th of what black people have had to deal with. Basically, the last 4 years combined has been basically a normal Tuesday before 6 a.m. for a black person. Every day for us. So to see these motherfuckers struggling is a delight for me. I love the fact that Trump is in office pissing all these motherfuckers off who came to this country thinking that everything was peaches and cream and everything was good, everything is okay. What's wrong with those black people?
No,
Trump is now telling motherfuckers it's a problem.
Everything is peaches and cream at the expense of niggas.
Basically.
That's no. And I get to ride their civil rights and all of that. I'm a person of color when I want this shit. And I'm something else once I got something when those niggas ask me. No. Get the fuck back to Africa, wherever you came from. Do not pass African American goal. Go directly to white immigration jail.
Yeah, like people talking about all these cages and shit, and I don't want to look. You don't want to see nobody locked away in cages, but all I
No,
gotta
no,
say is
no.
this:
Wait a minute.
black
Hold.
men been getting put
No.
in cages
Hold,
like a
hold.
motherfucker, and Kamala Harris is the main reason why. What about their
Right. Look,
families?
a supermax prison is a cage. Everybody like that. So, mm-mm. They put children in jail in Illinois, black, and adult jail. And that seems to be okay because
California
they're
too.
super predators. So no. What's good for the black goose is good for the people of color gander. Somebody say amen.
Amen, amen. That's
Mm-mm.
that's true equality. Is
That's right.
is
People,
is, is,
we all
is
in
equal
this
punishment.
together. So intersectionality your ass into the cage and into the ICE detainer center. Okay. Since we're all in it suffering together, we intersection, intersectionality. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Hey man, all I'm saying is for all you people that are saying we can't do 4 more years, look, like Dr. Short, I'm so with Dr. Short because when we get off air, we're gonna do some more family genealogy talk because I just trace some more of my family back to the Virginia area, going back to the 1600s. When you
We're
get
in Virginia.
Northampton,
Oh shit. That's not far. You're Northampton, but there are people in Southampton,
mm-hmm.
Isle of Wight, Dinwiddie, all those counties.
too.
I got family and all. Look, my cousin I was talking about, her, it's a basic truth. Anybody 200-mile radius of those counties over time are related.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically a far greater chance that you are related to me than not.
Mm-hmm.
It's in fact, it's 100 times more likely that you are than not.
I want to break something down for the people listening because they love your history, Dr. Short. They love your information. And I want to tag team a little bit on us back because there's a lot of foundational Black Americans here in the chat room. And to my non-foundational Black Americans in here, I see y'all too. Y'all fuck with us. We fuck with y'all too. But let's have some foundational Black American talk. Immigration and all these things, intersectional, Trump, Biden saying he's going to put gay rights ahead of black rights, all that shit. That hit different when you see that your family's been in this country before this country existed. People think that we were just running around Africa and then slavery happened and then boom. One, a lot of us were here before slavery. Two,
Right.
the ones who were here during slavery and came over and bought themselves out of freedom, either bought themselves or fought themselves out of freedom. It was a fuck ton of raids of plantations by free black people. My family was free in North Carolina all the way through 1830. So let's not act as if people were just sitting around waiting on white people to do something. We have been getting active the whole time, and it's our goddamn time now. And if we don't get it, we don't give a fuck about how you feel about Trump in 4 more years. You got somewhere to go. We don't.
Mm-hmm. In fact, you should get going.
Not now, but right now.
It's real simple. If things worked out, 1 or 2 or 3 things that I'm doing, my advisor here, Dr. Dawson's telling me, and she's right, that I need to focus and concentrate on things that work, that pay, that will reward effort.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I've been doing, just so you'll know, because Dwann, a lot of people, they don't know anything. In fact, you could listen to 100 conversations from a person and never know anything about them. I'm not giving a defense of myself at all. I don't care to. But if I said to you, I'm on the board of directors for the Rebecca Project for Justice and Human Rights, which means I'm an advocate for human rights for Black women, and other things, okay, this is just a fact. And if I told you our board director president is a woman, and the biggest problem they've had is getting help from other Black women, not from Black men. I mean, that's why I've deliberately become more disrespectful and irreverent towards pork chop feminism, because they don't get called on this shit. So I've seen, even see Dolores Tucker when she was standing up, the sister stabbed her in the back and let the white people destroy her.
Yeah, that was sad. That was sad.
Yes, the Black women did. When the greatest Black women ever to be a leader, and the sisters let them stab her to death. Or ran her out.
I don't want to go too far, but for people who don't know, tell them real quick of who C. Dolores Tucker was. This is a short snippet.
C. Dolores Tucker is the first Black woman to become, I think, Secretary of the Treasury or some high position in Pennsylvania. That's how powerful she was. Dr. Cynthia Dolores Tucker. She was powerful. She had one of the highest ranking Black women on the state level in the history of the United States. She was very strong in the Philadelphia area. And later she established what was called the National Political Congress for Black Women, that later was called the National Congress for Black Women. And she fought against bad music, abusive treatment of Black women and children. She fought for education. She was one of the first people to start fighting against mass incarceration, to go in and tell President Clinton to let Black men and women go. This isn't what I read about. When I have a friend in Alabama, I wish I had money because their family's still suffering, but when they were in jail, and this was a grandmother who'd been thrown in jail for being lied on under the phantom evidence laws of mass incarceration that Joe Biden created. I didn't want this woman to have intergenerational incarceration in her family. She was the center of her family. And her family was really going through because the mother and grandmother was thrown in jail for 20 years. And I went to everybody, Congress people like Maxine Waters, went begging people, don't let this Black grandmother stay in jail. For all the women that stupid ass women in your audience that think I don't care about Black women, that I love grandmothers. I didn't think it's right for any Black woman to be in jail without, good reason. And it took a while. People slammed doors in my face, laughed at me, but I got to see Dolores Tucker. And when C. Dolores Tucker found out that there was a Black grandmother in jail, she went to the White House and she told Clinton that she was going to come out of jail in 2 weeks. I'm not... When they asked she says, I am the document. She comes out. So, they asked for all the information. Yeah. She told Clinton, she's out. I say so. That's a strong, righteous Black woman, not just some asshole, attitudinal, hormonal sister, but a righteous, compassionate person. Yeah. If you knew her, she went up. She wasn't against hip hop. She wanted music that edified Black men and women. And the gays and the Jews, they all got together and put so much pressure on her, it caused her to die in her late 60s of congestive heart failure.
Man.
And folk act like she never existed. She didn't hate Tupac. She didn't hate hip hop. Just, she was a righteous sister.
She had a larger message. She saw where the music was.
Yeah.
And we see where it is now. So she was kind of right.
She was trying to create a music conglomerate where we could make positive music to uplift Black people. Her reasoning was this music is going to open up the Pandora box for police to murder Black folks on sight. Mm-hmm. These are conversations that you see it happening now. And you see why I would work with her. We didn't want Sandra Bland's. We didn't want this. Some of us have been doing what little or what the best we could to prevent what we saw coming.
Mhm.
She was a woman of vision. She made people shake in their boots. She would get you a job or a hookup. She helped shape people with
Mhm.
a particular focus on Black women, but she wanted them to be women, not men.
Yes, yes.
And so when I talk about her, I love her. I mean, just she she was strong but very feminine, very matronly, very intelligent. They read. She could look at you and assess your value in 1 minute. Look at you and say, "I want you to do this or that." So I met everybody through her: Maya Angelou, Mrs. King, Mrs. Shabazz, Rosa Parks. She was sort of like a hub to keep a lot of Black women true to issues around children and family. Nobody has replaced her since she's been dead. It's like when she died, it was like they shot the best in Black women in the head.
And you know, and I'm reason why I'm really glad you brought that up, the short, because like I said, I know how people oftentimes when people get in their feelings, they don't hear. So this is for those who may have gotten to your feelings earlier, but you stuck with us, you still here. You see, Dr. Short, the whole message here isn't to bash women. We're talking about a style woman, a distinct style or personality of woman who's destroying the overall goodness of Black society. We're not talking about all Black women. We're not talking about all. It's never all of anything anyway. The listener should be smart enough to know that to begin with. Never all, but it's more than enough, and it's too many and more than enough for us to address. So
Yeah.
there are
And she
great
was
women
just,
out there. There are women that we love in, we believe in. The women who are Black first. Black first means Black first. That means man, woman, and child. That means all of us. That means the greater good. And see Dolores Tucker, because I remember her as a child. She somehow took bullets because as a kid, I'm thinking, man, she just hate Tupac. But I was 13, 14. Now when I look back and when I see a lot of the things that she was doing, it's because she saw the big picture. She saw 20 years from now. She saw Cardi B coming back in 1992. That's why she had the passion that she had. Sometimes
mm,
visionaries see things a little before us do, and they take the
okay.
bullet.
And this woman was the secretary of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in 1971. From 1971 to 19, I mean, this powerful ass woman.
That's fresh out of civil rights. That's
Yeah, she was hooking people up with jobs. She put her foot in your ass. If I mean,
yeah.
she'd break your ass. And I recall even being a student at Howard that I saw her and she went off on me for having not come to see her in a while. If you were a good Black man, she would pull people out and say, "This is Dwann Brown. Look at him. This is the kind of Black man we need to get behind." She would tell people, she would say, "This man respects. I trust him. I was working for her." She says, "I left you in my office because I can tell you have integrity. I can tell that you care about people. You have character." And she says, "I also think you respect women. Whenever you need something, you call me." That's the
That's
first
dope.
conversation.
That's dope.
I'm like, and now that person, she put so much love inside of you, and the way that she saw your humanity, not, "Oh, this is just another nigga that belongs in lockup." If she asks me to do something, you're going to do it. The sisters need to understand, when you put all this poison out there because you're in your feelings, you basically kill the love and the men that you don't see. It's not it's not visible when you kill the love inside of people. You get these ladies like Tucker, the people were afraid of her because she could call men and women who would go upside your head. They liked her. Just tell me, who do you need me to beat up? The women in our culture, like Daisy Bates or like Ida B. Wells, had a power of letting the brothers know that they gave a damn about men.
Mm-hmm.
When a man feels like you care about him and you're not against him and you're for him, you'd be amazed at what he might do for you. This is something that we've lost, the art of forming relationships where we leverage respect for one another as a means to mobilize, organize, and force change. Marcus Garvey, when he married his wife, she respected him. They
Mm-hmm.
went up against the whole world, man and a woman, weren't even foundational Black Americans. But when we care about each other, it makes a difference. What feminism does, and what I call the brother fucker toxic pimp syndrome in Black men does, is it kills the love and respect. I can tell you right now, if Angela Bassett were being attacked by someone, it's not so much that she's a star, but what she conveys in her demeanor, whether it's fake or not,
Mm-hmm.
would make me as a man want to defend her.
Yes, yes.
Stallion and Cardi B or Lizzo, I'd probably mind my business. I'm the same person with no great ability to fight, resist, to do anything in both instances, but there was one woman of dignity, character, and worth that commands, if you're a real man, to do the best that you can for her. The other women are of low character, low morals. It doesn't inspire you to do anything but get the hell away from them before they lie on you for child support, give you an STD, get you in a fight with one of their lesbian or heterosexual male friends, right? You know what I'm saying? Get away from them before some drama hits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is something that's not being said to sisters, that you can command respect without doing a lot of yelling or screaming or acting like a dude. And it doesn't mean being all weak and girly like the white female joggers that keep touching their hair when the rapists are chasing them. They run in place as the rapist is catching up. No one's asking you to take all your defenses down. But what they are asking you to do is stop taking a sword and stabbing everyone and thinking no one's going to stab you. The same white feminists tell you that being overweight is sexy, and they're starving themselves to death to attract white men. When you see the talk shows and the white women are small and the black woman is bigger than the table that they're talking with, like on the morning show, and nobody's, I'm sorry, sisters, y'all not using the whole deck for your card game. Why are you bigger than most of the people you're on the show with? Don't you know? I mean, doesn't that stand out and somehow that you're different, at least in size? You know, I was having a debate, 23 years ago with the feminists, and of course I won. And I was talking about something, and it was one of these loudmouth, chunky, pork chop feminists. I love fighting with them. And I said something to the lady, and the girl said, well, she's I said, she's not bitter, she's better. And I says, no, she's not better or bitter, she's bigger. And I said her favorite gospel song is an autobiography. You know what it is? She said, "What song?" "Somebody Bigger Than You and I." And um, they stopped bothering me. They couldn't take it because a lot of it is that we've been sheltered from honest dialogue. The same way you have fake news lying about Trump, we have fake news in the Black community. And a lot of unvarnished conversation from a male perspective has been hidden from a lot of assistants. Men have to hear whatever women want to say all the time.
Facts.
And so I'm deliberately
God damn, all the time.
Having conversations that people don't want to hear. It builds up discipline. In fact, if you don't like what I'm saying, either you won't talk to me or you'll stop having conversations in which you'll get a response.
You real talk. And you're right about that, David B in the chat room, Anita Baker. Anita Baker was the last woman to apologize. When was that, 1994 when she wrote that song?
Yeah, and you know what? There's a lot for men to apologize for. But you know what? I want to see women apologize too. It's interesting that the Million Man March was talking about atonement. The Million Woman March, nobody knows what the fuck that was about, other than we can have a march bigger than yours. What was the message?
You're right about that, because the Million Man March was a Day of Atonement. The Million Man March was about men talking about what men need to do to get back on top, to get things in order, to keep the family together, to keep the children together. The Million Man March.
None of that happened with the Women March. The real thing is,
help the community.
We have a march.
Oh shit, we got an internet connection problem in this motherfucker. Hey, are y'all there in the chat room? We having some more. There you are. There you go. You're back.
No.
Ah, shit. Hold on. It went out. You went out again. Mm-hmm. God damn it. People, y'all fucking with Dr. Short's internet. What is it? Go say something now.
Hello?
There we go. We got you.
Okay. It was about being in competition with Black men instead of we need to work on our half of the Black community. Because it assumes or it asserts we ladies have it together. It's you men that are all fucked up that we have to take care of and get right all the time.
That's what not being.
We always have things straight. And the point is if we're all at war and you have everything straight, then you're not really fighting. Because when there's a war against the people, the women get bombed like the men get bombed. If your house hasn't been knocked down and mine has, it's because you're a collaborator with the enemy.
Oh.
Okay.
If my house hasn't been knocked down, and yours hasn't.
Okay. And that we're at war. And you've got all these privileges and things that I don't have. And then you're working for the enemy, whether you think so or not.
And that's the thing, whether you think so or not, because what's the empirical evidence that we have to say Dr. Randy Short isn't bullshitting? Go to any Skid Row in America, and who are the people who are on the streets? Black men. Why? Because there are no programs and no safety net for the men.
For them.
And I'm gonna tell you a quick little story, and I'm gonna let you get back to it. When I was working with the children, I work with a lot of children who have behavioral issues, and part of my job was to link family to different services in different places. So we would have families who are homeless, and when I had a woman who was homeless, it was easy to get her somewhere to live. If I had a man that was homeless, it was tough. Super tough to get homeless men in any kind of anything. Women, you can find it. Here's the problem. Here's where it became an issue getting women housing. The issue came when she had a son over the age of 13, 12. That's why feminism and all this bullshit isn't even healthy for women. Because these different shelters, all this social safety net stuff, it was all good unless she had a black son over the age of 13. Do you know how hard it is to get a woman in a shelter who has a boy over the age of 13, let alone 2 or 3? It's damn near impossible.
And something else. Something else. Not only is it harder to get anything for them, not only is it harder, but if it's a man with children and the woman has left, it's hard for him to get any kind of help. Even if he's just to daycare, it is about breaking the man's back. In fact, forcing the women to abandon men for the help of the same state that penalizes the man for being male, rewards the woman if she's not with the man. We already know this. Now go further. The children that don't get adopted most heavily are black boys over the age of 10. Folk don't. Okay. Who's most likely to get aborted? Black male children. These are conversations that we can't have. I share with you why. What feminism strips women of empathy, black women, because it presumes that men can't be victims. So that 13-year-old, I know someone who was above 13 that couldn't live with their grandmother because they were male. So they ended up homeless because they're boy. You understand what I'm saying?
Man.
And so this happens, and there's no one saying, hey, wait a minute, these boys are minors, they need to be protected too. No, they're black and they're male. The word they use is man-child. So I know what it's like to have a white adult male beat me. I may as well be an adult. I'm getting beat like one. No one complained about it. This was the norm where I went to school. White men beat on the black guys. It's black boys. It's buck breaking type stuff. This is the society. I'm not saying the women don't get beaten, raped too. Just whenever you get around to dealing with black men as experiencing suffering or pain, folk get tired real fast and don't want to hear it.
Man.
It's whining, it's complaining. Now, I haven't talked about this but one time. This is the first time I said anything to you about it. Even bringing it up is seen as soft. So as a result of that, since men don't have any outlet for pain, sorrow, whatever, they become hard, cold, and cruel. It is a way, being cool, being chilly, being a sociopath or a psychopath is a way to navigate a world that is very hostile and cruel towards you just because you exist as a black male, and black men killing each other. And I want to say this about violence, as much as I don't like it. Do you know that black women are far more likely to kill black men than white women are to kill white men? Or Hispanic women to kill Hispanic men, or Asian women? I'm not saying the sisters don't have the right to self-defense. Okay, I'm only saying that, relatively speaking, in terms of who kills who, a lot of stuff in our community is damn more equal than other people. You know who doesn't notice it? People who have shit for brains. Women in our community, they never assess things. It's all emotion and feeling, how I feel, instead of saying, okay, you live in a Hispanic community. How often do you see Hispanic men taking care of the children, brother Dwann?
Yes.
Chinese men, Indian men, you don't see it typically.
No.
It's far more common to see a black man carrying around a baby doing this stuff, and yet black men have an image of being uncaring, lackadaisical fathers.
Center for Disease Control proved that back in that study they did back in 2012. It said black fathers are more active with the children than any other race.
Yeah, but you know who doesn't know that?
Oh, the
pork chop feminists. Pork chop feminists don't give a fuck about what is real. They're more interested in sticking to the doctrinal line of white lesbian feminist. And this is the only way to deal with the pork chop feminist is to show disrespect, scorn, and ostracism, which is hurtful emotionally and psychologically, but it's necessary. It's sort of like an electrified fence for cattle. They won't cross the line. If they get shocked one time too many, they learn. And my problem, my issue with black men is they're so into the brotherfucker toxic pimp syndrome of always begging for pussy, always trying to be a lover when you can't even take care of the woman you already have. Until part of the fake game is to never have honest conversations with black women. If you're always hearing a lie, you live in a fantasy world. You live in a bubble that's going to get busted. A lot of our sisters need to hear things, even if it's hurtful, to hear it, but you learn something. It's like discipline. It's like learning a language. It's really annoying having to work on practicing. For example, if I just verve off to another language, agora eu estou practicando minha conhecimento da língua portuguesa in order to comunicar com as pessoas que falam em português. It's annoying as hell to hear that until you learn. And once you get used to hearing it, you're able to navigate and modulate the sound into a message that you can work with. Ismi Randy, Anafi, Medina al Washington, right? If initially it's annoying as hell to hear this. But then the more I become conversant with another line of communication or pronunciation or grammar or modulation of sound, it makes me more effective in my communication. If you're only listening to pork chop feminist propaganda speak all day long, you would think weighing 400 pounds is sexy. That you're like you're sex on the beach in your motor scooter because you can't walk around normally. And I've seen this. Man, I know you want me. I'm a cougar. And I told them, no, you're not a cougar. You're a bear.
Man, you got some of these chicks. Some of y'all ain't y'all saber-toothed tigers, goddamn it. Fucked up grills and goddamn it.
And unlike Tony the Tiger, you're not great. Well, in size you're great, but not in terms of beauty. And we have to have these conversations. And, I hope my lips are chapping. This is like looking at my lips and then complaining about my lips chapping because it was cold. And I guess they're afraid like my little chapped lip would scrape up against somebody's clitoris. Oh, that's uncomfortable. So every time my lip would move, she would jump back.
Oh man, so real quick, I want to give everybody an update as to what's going on. I know y'all paying attention.
Oh yeah, let me look because I'm wondering. They're playing games. They're not calling Trump states.
Yeah, they're not playing games. Look, I'm seeing right now. He's ahead 51-47 in Wisconsin. He's ahead 53-44 in Michigan. And he's ahead 56-42 in Pennsylvania, but they're not calling any of those three states for Trump. He's ahead 50. The only close one in North Carolina, 50-48. And but he's probably going to win that. Georgia's kind of close, but we all know good and hell well he's going to win Georgia. Basically, the only look they have, even if Joe Biden wins Nevada right now, he's at 238, according to Fox News. If he gets these 6 more electoral votes, it's still not going to be enough. So yeah, they could. I'm flipping back and forth between the LA Times, Fox News. I'm trying to get a balance of what the bullshitters are saying. But either way it go, when I see how far Trump is ahead in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, Biden ain't got a chance. But
okay, I'm looking at CNN, the Klan News Network, and these are his enemies. His enemies. His enemies say that he's only 7 electoral votes behind Biden. Now, let's do this real fast. He's going to get Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. He's got it. He's got it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's going to get the votes up in Maine. Now, remember I sent you my map of how the vote would look?
Yeah.
Do you see how close it is? Go to CNN. It's almost what I sent you a week ago. The only thing that's not matching is they haven't. I don't know what's going to happen. I thought he'd get Nevada and Arizona. The only thing that he hasn't gotten that I thought he would get is Minnesota. And the good news about Minnesota and these other places is that even if Trump doesn't get the electoral vote in that state, he's got the popular vote right now.
He does.
Trump has the popular vote in the country.
So far. And here's this whole electoral race and running, this shit's at the end of the day, man, it's all a game, man. Like these polling numbers, we don't know none of this shit. And on top of that, let's talk electoral college for a second, Dr. Short. People don't understand that, like when it comes to electoral college, prisoners are counted electoral college too. That's and your cousin that's getting shipped off to prison, whatever county he's in, whatever the people voted for in that county, your cousin in jail voted for it too. That's another extension of the prison industrial complex. You see Joe Biden beefed it up and Kamala Harris, and now you have states. You got these states out here, like like with like Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, really Alabama, states like that, who may not have the population for 9 electoral votes, but when you add all the prisoners that they got up in Alabama, they get more electoral votes, which go red. You got a lot of blue people in that state. People say, hey, it's all those black people in Alabama. It should be blue. Well,
let me tell you, what keeps the states from going blue are the mass incarceration laws of Joe Biden. So the Democrats made them red, and they don't really care about that. So with the millions of blacks that can't vote in this country, which is a violation of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that's not enforced, and Maxine Waters doesn't talk about it, nor does Clanburn or Coonburn, whatever you want to call the little Uncle Ruckus.
That Jim Clyburn is a sorry son of a bitch.
Well, he looks like Uncle Ben's had a crackhead brother with the receding hairline and no chef hat. Okay, we're gonna talk about
Jim Clyburn. He kind of like a male Lori Lightfoot.
Lori Lightfoot, that's one of the few people I'd say looks better than him.
Hey, and on top of that, let's talk about some over here in California. We got a lot of shit going on. We got a lot of local stuff going on over here in California. We got these amendments and shit that they have on the table. It's a lot of things that are going for locally that that are important. But is this national shit. Look, man, we ain't got no control over none of this national shit. This is the reason why you see people like Dr. Short and I having a good time and not biting our fucking fingernails and nervous and shit. And I thank y'all for joining the chat room, because it looks to me the chat room is having a great time and they loving you, Dr. Short. The chat room is loving everything that you're saying. And I love my chat room because we all see through the bullshit. We here having a good ass time because we know regardless of what happened, You know what I mean? They can't do shit for us. You know what I mean? And
Well, we have to do it for ourselves. But I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this map on Fox and the projections. I'm just going to say this to you. Even if Biden gets Nevada, which would give him 244 electoral college votes, his ass is grass.
yep.
Because Trump's going to get Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, and
Yep.
he's going to beat. And I genuinely believe he's going to still get Nevada. I think that he may get Arizona, and I think they may even have to give him Minnesota.
Yep.
I believe that he may get Minnesota yet. And what will end up happening is it's going to be the vote, like what I was saying, that Trump would get somewhere between 305 to 330 electoral college votes. We just have to see. I actually think he'll get Alaska. I forgot about that. He'll get Alaska too.
He's going to get Alaska. That's Sarah Palin town. So, you know, like you're saying, look, the reason why people always say, oh, you support, look, my thing is, I know with Trump, black people recognize and see that we have an enemy. We don't have an enemy, we don't have a friend in Trump. And I trust black people more than I depend on any politician. When black people see our enemy, when we see what the problem is, we generally confront that shit and we win because we are fighting people. We people who we don't matter what the shit look like, we gonna overcome it. We gonna be good. Our biggest problems come when we think we have a friend in office. When we think we have a friend in office, we get totally relaxed. We don't pay attention, and we get majorly screwed. We thought Bill Clinton was our friend because he went on the Arsenio Hall show, and he was one of the most knocked down, drag out racists that we've ever had in office. Between his media bill, between his bill that he's the Biden bill, all that shit that he did, and niggas to this day still don't really look back on Clinton and see how big of an enemy he was to us. Same with Obama, and it would have been like that with Biden if he won. But for your Biden supporters, your cousin fucking shag wearing, liver spot looking motherfucking wanting to be president ain't gonna win, and Kamala Harris ain't shit, and she ain't gonna be shit the rest of her life. Ha ha, you stanky bitch, you're not gonna be vice president.
Well, you know, all I'm going to say to you is that what I've really enjoyed about this race is that Obama has not been able to draw a crowd because finally some niggas have woke up and recognized that Ofaga wasn't shit. And so when Biden loses in the next few hours, it will be proof that Obama destroyed the black support for the Democrats. And so I'm so thankful because now a lot of us look at the Democrats cross-eyed. This is really wonderful, man. I'm really excited about this, and you know,
I want to shout out Jason Black because back in 2016, people asked, "What's going to happen? President Trump's in office. What are the Democrats going to do?" And Jason Black, the Black channel said, "The Democrats are going to double down on the shit. So we may stand fast and get rid." He said that 4 years ago. He was right.
Jason Black,
and black people have far stood fast.
Jason Black and Professor Black Truth are really, really phenomenal people. I really like them, man. I'm really enjoying their shows. I don't want to be like them. I want to be like us. And so we need to do a morning after thing, maybe a couple hours, and say, all right, all of you coons that are butthurt, now that the Trumpers have run a political train on your asses, now what are we going to do? And I'll just tell everybody, the new enemy is Republicans, the traitor, coon, black Republicans who will be in positions of power, who block Trump from giving things to black people. We have to attack them. The Republicans will become public enemy number one, and we need to have a civil war against the Boule. This election is the beginning of a generational shift and a war, civil war, that needs to be waged without mercy, conducted with brutal intellectual cruelty and honesty against bootlicks, Negroidians, blacknecks, and assorted sundry garden variety traitors and coons. We have to put the word race enemy in our mouths, race traitor in our mouths, anti-Black American deviant or deviationist or subversive. And these people have to be ostracized, rejected. If you're an artist and you're really despicable, your records not be purchased or your everything. We have to begin to use the little power we have to force everyone. We're not asking you. And again, no foreign entanglements. all feminism must be purged from the lives of Black people. Strung up tonight wouldn't be soon enough. Eugenicists have to be kicked out. All. No more mercy, no more understanding. Your gender and your genitalia does not give you a pass. Either you're for the people or you're against the people. You're either for us moving forward or you're against us. There can be no compromise, no in between. There is a war coming between the free world of foundational Black Americans and the slave world of the Boule coons. Conflict is inevitable.
It is inevitable because at the end of the day, we have to get shit right. It's only one way. Look, we gonna get this shit right as a people, and as the Black men in society, we gonna make it right. What's happened is a lot of people Black men in the last 6 years, for the most part, been chilling, and y'all kind of forgot who the fuck we are. You know what I mean? And you've been having a lot of these and I get it. Why? Because when it comes to social media, when it comes to the news and all that shit, they only point out the Black folks, like on national TV. They only allow henpecked, weak, sorry sons of bitches on the mic. They don't have
you mean
nobody
like Andrew Gillum? Like Andrew Gillum. I mean, he couldn't even fuck a Black man. It had to be like a white passing around HIV positive porn king.
BT had Andrew Gillum on some election night forum going on today. Who the fuck listening? He done got his asshole blown out, and they still trying it with this motherfucker.
But I never called it BET. I always called it nigger entertainment television, and it's certainly become that. If they have, in fact, I guess it should be called Dick Sucker Entertainment Television with him on there. Look, brother Dwann, Ron Hurd, right?
Your brother Ron. Shouts out to Ron Hurd.
Now, I need to remind you, did you see the show we did back in March where I told Ron that Gilman was going to get busted fucking with some man? Okay. Didn't I say that before it happened?
Yep.
You go check the dates. I called Ron and says, Ron, I had a vision until I had to call people and says, oh my God, dude's going to get busted doing meth with some white sissy in a hotel somewhere. And I said, I like his wife is fine. But, it is what it is. God make me wrong because he has beautiful children. I mean, but I'm telling you, he's going to be messed with some man. When you see it, Ron, I take no.
I remember that.
I told my friend, oh my God.
Not just Star, thank you for joining the chat. Thank you, David B, for joining the chat. Y'all gotta go to sleep. Thank y'all for joining us. Go ahead, Dr. Troy. Two of my lovely guests who they fuck with you, they love you, they want to tell you they love you, they gotta be out. But yeah, thank y'all for joining the chat. Watch the replay tomorrow, motherfuckers. Now go ahead, Dr. Short.
All I'm saying, when they're bringing Gillum out, that was to try to get like the the vote out. By the way, I was thinking about it. Do you know how Kamala Harris, sends a letter?
Kamala Harris send a letter.
I can show you better than I tell you. She takes the letter, folds it back, slides between the legs, and seals it. She used a cooch as an envelope moistener. You know, and so I was thinking about her sealing the letter. You know. So,
Hey, I got a question, Dr. Short. Tomorrow, when Kamala Harris is lost, is she gonna blame her Indian lineage or the black side?
well, I hope she says, I want Kamala Harris to insult black people so they can snap on her. I pray to God that she says something racist and cruel. So certain black folks who need to be called nigger or bitch or motherfucker before they will listen to intelligent researchers and other folks who are trying to tell them. We have a what I call a dumb fuck black defiant syndrome, where dumbass black people think they're smarter than people who read and research. Like the semi-literate niggas that need help to figure out which bus to get on, yet they're smarter than you are. You know what I'm saying? These kinds of people in our community. So because certain black folks need a foot, they need to get kicked in the ass by a Nazi jackboot before they dislike Nazis. Then let her kick. I hope she's kicking hard tomorrow. I want the media to come down. I want the media. In fact, I'm telling you what I'm really looking forward to is the Democratic Party taking positions and firing high-placed coon niggas in the Democratic Party because they failed to get the black vote out. This happened before. This is going to happen. Destroy them. Take Donna Brazile off of Fox. Kick all these people off. Get Pocari Sellers. Kick all their asses off of television. We don't want to see them anymore. Don Lemon to be replaced as an anchor for CNN. This will be beautiful. See, we, as a long time, the rank and file grassroots black people, have taken it on the chin, and we've been happy for the other black people to get rich and successful, even though they give us the finger.
Right.
Now we must work to destroy their privileged position over us by doing stuff that makes white society retaliate against them, which will begin tomorrow morning. Simone Sanders will be fired. Cedric Richmond will be fired. Joe Biden will turn on all these people. This will be so beautiful and lovely. I just wish I could be a fly on the wall as these people are called niggers by the white people who are already calling them niggers that you don't see. And for people to not be given contracts. I can't wait. I love seeing Boule people hurt just like the ordinary black folks. In fact, we need to make this happen all the time. This is such a great feeling. I can't even fall asleep thinking about the way that Boule folks are going to get hurt, like folks that are underprivileged in our community. We have no loyalty to them. They don't care about us. They've left us for dead. They've let this stuff be done to us and thought it was funny. And now, when we've done something that they didn't want us to do, we didn't listen to their asses say, just vote. We said, just fuck you.
You heard about that, Simone Sanders. Simone Sanders is she looks like E.J. Johnson, Magic Johnson gay son.
She does look like Magic Johnson's son. I've been saying that for about 3-4 years. I know you heard it.
I ain't heard it, but I just thought about a bitch look. And she
does look like
goddamn it, shit.
She does look like Magic Johnson Jr. That's the last conversation she does. And he looks actually better sometimes. She's just a really, in fact, she looks like a cross between Magic Johnson Jr. and Gary Coleman from Different Strokes. So she has his cheekbones.
And then someone in the chat room said something great. Roland Martin's not on another job, thank God.
Well, Roland Martin looks like Betty Boop had a black brother. He does look like Betty Boop. But that receding hairline with little Superman curls and shit, that's so out of date. Damn it, Roland.
And his head is shaped like a Rubik's Cube.
His ass, too.
Fuck Roland Martin.
Oh, well, no, don't say that. He may call you up. Okay, we're being ignorant, I know. Oh my God.
Connection issues. There we go. You're back.
Well, they're mad, brother. My phones won't charge. I had to put my phone in the freezer. All of a sudden, my phone got super hot. and wouldn't cool off. I put it in the freezer so it would charge.
Man, see, that's what it is. They fucking with our stream. Dr. Short, we're gonna have to do something again, like I said, later on this week to recap. One is because right now we still in the middle of it. They probably not gonna call. We all know Trump won, but they probably not gonna call it to the morning. So,
well, let me give a Trump speech to you guys.
Go ahead.
In fact, let me give an Obama speech because they're gonna have Obama come out, and he may have Michelle standing next to him, and she may be sticking a sex toy in him to give him plastic courage to talk to black people. I'll say, yeah, Michelle, just thrust it, but hold your hand because the camera's going to be right here. Okay, so get over here, stand over, but push it, but not too hard because I need to breathe. And he's going to say, for 8 years, I served as your president. I was a president to all the people. And as you know, a certain gentleman won the election. We couldn't stop him. His name is Donald Trump. He's racist. He's outrageous. And he won again. I don't know how. But I want to say something to the black men who did a disservice to John Lewis, to Martin Luther King, and to everybody else that came before. But we have to stick on the Democratic Party plantation. And when we walked off, it wasn't the right thing to do. You owe it to my legacy to continue to vote to get nothing in return. God bless you.
Nothing.
And Donald Trump is going to go on and say, after 4 years of fake news, constant attacks on my friends and family, but my faith in God and the American people to make this country great again. We've come through the most contentious political election in this nation in over 100 years, if not of all times. I feel humbled to be your president for another 4 years. I want to thank the black men who didn't listen to the fake news, who broke away from a tradition of getting nothing in exchange for their votes from a party that took them for granted, to vote for me, the greatest president for black Americans since Abraham Lincoln. I don't know if I'm going to give everybody reparations checks, but I'll be thinking about it. But I want to thank you very much for coming out and proving to all the people, all the Clintons and the people in the swamp, all the people that called me a racist, all the people that blame me for the disease as if I could just make everybody sick. Hey, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't make you sick. There are people blaming me for making you sick. I didn't do it. So the next 4 years, we're going to turn this country around. I just hope the people that voted against me get sick. I hope that there are no respirators in your hospital so you can know what it's like to suffer like my family has. God bless the people in America that voted for me. And in particular, all you black guys, if you don't have a job, look me up. Just don't listen to the Republicans. They told me not to help you guys. You gotta come see me.
I want to bring up something before we get out of here because I have to go in a little bit. Bring up again the Republicans. People think, look, I'm tired of you dumb motherfuckers that think just because we hate Biden, that means it's some. No, we hate these Republicans just as much because these Republicans. More.
Okay, let me give you.
They take for themselves and say, fuck the rest of them niggas, right. Just like the Democratic coons.
Yes, they're all in the boule. But let me give you something. Someone that I know that knows people that works in the White House said that repeatedly Donald Trump for several years tried to get the black Republicans that comes to the White House to tell him specifically what did he need to do to help black American grassroots people. And what Donald Trump was told by some of the Republicans that you see on Fox News and CNN, that Donald Trump didn't need to do anything special for black people. He just needed to keep doing whatever he was doing was helping black people.
I heard.
These, I know some of them. I want to say this to your audience. Since about 1990, so over the last, say, 30 years, at various points, I've been registered as a Republican. One, I'm a black nationalist, if you really get to know me, but I don't care. When Trump won the first time, when he was president-elect, I went to people I know that I would call Republicans and said, hey, look, we were decisive. Black men were decisive. We can get something this time. We got nothing from Obama. Let's put together a contract with Black America proposal to give to Trump. 15 to 25 things that we absolutely need that are within reason to make demands for Black people. Do you know that these people have run for me for 4 years? I wasn't talking about giving Black people 5 states in the South. I mean, just these people had access. They will not do it. So when Trump wins, the battle isn't over. The new battle will be with the Republicans. If you see a Black Republican, if they don't support reparations, if they don't support race soldiers going to jail, if not receiving the death penalty, if they do not support reinvestment in the Black community, if they don't support getting rid of sanctuary cities and doing things to stop, one, gentrification, stop lead poisoning in the air via water, if they're not doing stuff to fight for Black farmers, to fight for improving education and training for men as well as women, if they're not talking about getting credit and access to money and capital for Black people to do national, domestic, and international trade and business, the Small Business Association being made more simplified for Black people to get the necessary training and coaching to get grants and opportunities and procurement, then they are enemies of Black people.
Facts.
I came up with the term Republican, okay, or Brinos, Black Republicans in name only. A Republican is a member of the Boule that is in the Republican Party. A Democrat is a member of the Boule who's in the Democratic Party. The Republicans' headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia. The Democrats' headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
The Boule is an enemy to all of us. The day that we turn on the Greek letter societies, we turn on the Masons, we turn on crooked organizations like that big, fat, greasy Reverend Barbecue. That dude is so big. I mean, I'm telling you, if Donald Trump wanted a border wall, get fat ass Reverend Barber to just stand between California and Mexico. Nobody else's ass would get up in here.
You know what thing I don't like about him? Because, like, as a fat person, I don't like most fat people because he can't even stand up straight. Look,
let me tell you something. He had on purple.
When you get to the point to where you got to lean on a podium and you can't stand up with your back straight and your knees locked, you need to lose some goddamn weight.
Well, look, he was so fat at a video I saw, even when he turned sideways, he was bigger than the rostrum he was standing at. The other thing was he had on all this purple, and he was fat. And you know what it reminded me of? I hadn't thought about it in years. Grimace from the McDonald's. Remember the one that would steal the cookies? It looked like him. He looked like Grimace with the mask on.
He looked like the whole interior of Paisley Palace. That motherfucker. Yeah.
He had on purple. He looked like Grimace from McDonald's. I was just imagining him stealing my fries and cookies and shit. I just keep talking. And I want to say something else about Republicans. There's another word for Republican. I want you to repeat after me.
Go ahead.
Single issue niggers. I call them sinners. single issue niggers. They only deal with abortion or education or school choice or prayer in the schools. Never shit that you can put in your mouth. The same way the Democrats, they can give you something to put up your ass, or they can kill your baby or put you in jail, but it's not food, it's not shelter, it's not land, it's not real tangible shit. Republicans are pro illegal alien. Democrats are pro LGBTQ over blacks, but they hide. And so they're fake. Like that little broad that's running, Kim Klacik in Baltimore, she's a Republican. She's a Republican. And for 8 to 9 years, her job was being an event planner at the strip club called Gold's Gentlemen's Club that's owned by her husband, who has multiple black children by other black women he's been with. This is a woman running for Congress in Baltimore. Now, she walks through the slum areas, but when your husband owns a sex shop that allegedly launders money for human trafficking and drugs and other things, you contribute to Baltimore being bombed out, you hypocritical bitch.
Yep.
Republicans, beware of them. See, I'm black first. I was black before I ever heard of what a damn Republican was. I would be black if I became a commie, which I would never do. Black before I became a socialist, which I would never do. Or a Muslim or a range of other things I'm not going to be. I will always be black first. A Republican is a narcissistic traitor first. They only care about themselves. If you look at how fucked up Atlanta is, and you understand that the Boule, Democrats, and Republicans are based in Atlanta, and you see how black folks are being destroyed in Atlanta, it is a clearest indication of what Democrats and Republicans are. They're political enemies who work to destroy us. And the last...
Oh no. Shit. You there? God damn it. Right as he's going into his last point, these motherfuckers take him off air. God damn it. We're gonna try to get Dr. Short back to end that point, but I do want to give while he's off. Damn it. All right, he'll come back. I do want to point out to everybody here in Southern California, it looks as if Jackie Lacey's losing. That Scottie Pippen looking bitch, Jackie Lacey, it looks like she's going to lose her DAC. It looks like she's going to lose it, yes. But you was just getting to your last point. I don't want to talk too much. I want to let you get your last point. You say your third point.
Well, I do want to celebrate that dude that looks like Mahalia Jackson in South Carolina that was running for the Senate. He looked like Mahalia Jackson. He lost. I really did think that was an LGBTQ setup. He should have understood if they already have a white sissy, why do they need a black one? The black gay folks are dumb as fuck. They really do think ass fucking or sucking on carpet or titties when they're a woman makes them equal to white people. If fucking people of other races make them equal, why aren't all of us free because all of our ancestors had to fuck white people? So coming from a family of high yellow house niggas, some of us got free fucking other people, but not all of us. So that's not even 50-50. I just want to put that out there. That's free advice. You can take it or leave it. Now, what I was going to say about the Republicans support eugenics. All over the country, there's a move to legalize prostitution and pedophilia, as well as vaccinate or use unsafe drugs without parental consent on black youth. The Democrats and the Republicans are willing to get money from the pharmaceutical corporations to destroy a new generation of young black people. We must have a civil war in our community against our traitor elites. None of these people is worthy of our respect or loyalty. The sooner we turn our backs on them, disrespect them, run them out of our communities, humiliate them, the more free we will be. Any people that ever liberate themselves first purge themselves of their traitors, of their sellouts, of their compromised fake ass preachers, teachers, leaders, entertainers. If you're not for the Black cause, you deserve our collective contempt, scorn, abuse.
Yes.
This is what we must do. The time is now. Go to hell, all you little fake ass people from the church, because if there was so much fucking forgiveness among Black Christians, we wouldn't have 1,000,000,000,000 denominations.
Facts.
Okay, so fuck you. Yeah, I don't give a damn. I don't believe in it. You don't believe in forgiveness. If there was forgiveness in the Black community, we wouldn't have the amount of homicides, divorces, and other shit. So
Yep.
I'm not forgiving a traitor of the community. I don't forgive the mayor of Flint that allowed those children to be poisoned and that she stole the money. I don't want to forgive her. Let God correct me. Stay in your own fucking lane. I stay in mine. Now is the time to make Black traitors suffer psychically, mentally. These people should be run out of our community. They should be made. Their kids should come home crying. Daddy, you didn't. But you didn't stand up to the community. All the kids hate me because you're a traitor in the community. I grew up with white folks, and white people would do that. Where a kid, if your parent was a nigga lover, the kids would go home crying and screaming at their parents, why do you make me go through this? We need to, children on the target too. In fact, if people had messed with the Obama kids, if they messed with John Lewis's kids, if they had messed, this would have gotten a message that there's a price to pay when you betray your people, your children, and your family. It's open season on them because they're trying to get to you. Now is the time. Maxine Waters' kids should be ashamed of her. If Al Green has kids, his little caveman looking ass should be ashamed. Little hippopotamus looking ass Sheila Jackson Lee's kids, even though she's a Jamaican asshole, her kids should be ashamed.
She look like Patrick Ewing.
No, that's Michelle Obama looks like Patrick Ewing. She looks like Vin Rames. Okay. Get Shorty.
Right
Well, remember they put the little
Sheila Jackson Lee is Ursula from The Little Mermaid, the big octopus bitch. Man, they fucking with Dr. Short's dream, man. Shit. It's okay. Because we about to get up out of here. I know, I really think we have over 300 people live in the chat room between YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, my other Facebook page. Man, wow, thank y'all for joining us. We've been above between 250 and 300 in the chat all shows. So I really thank y'all for having the attention span to listen. Okay, Dr. Short is back. Dr. Short, man, we about to get up out of here pretty soon. Give them thoughts. Whatever the hell you feel like saying, go right ahead right now, my brother.
Well, look, I need your help, brother. When I get back to DC on Friday, I want a coalition of people to help me in the short term to wage war against this vaccination of our youth. They want to experiment on Black youth. The vaccine has additives to it that causes paralysis, if not death. This is a death sentence on our people. This is being brought to us by Black Democrats who are owned or in the pocket of pharmaceutical corporations. Black folk, so-called Black leadership across the country, including that tramp called Maxine Waters, have been silent about COVID because they get money from pharmaceuticals. They knew that they were going to roll out these vaccines and they would be used on us to basically experiment, to develop it, because white kids are getting sick. So what they want to do is kill and perfect it by destroying Black kids until they make a good vaccine for white children. The same thing was done with the birth control pill. Tuskegee is happening right now, and it has the support. Most people fail to understand that the National Medical Association, which is dominated heavily by the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, was deeply involved, and the Tuskegee experiment with syphilis, that Black Greek letter Boule doctors helped kill those men and women in Alabama. This is happening right here and now. You don't have to get in a time machine to go back and shoot masks in the head. You can go after some coons that you know right here and now. I need your help. I need your support. I'm trying to launch some things. And so I need folks, and Brother Dwann, I need you to work with me to set up my channel
Yeah.
so it's more effective. And we need to have enough capital to raise some hell. But there are other people already on the scene. We defeated an effort to legalize prostitution in D.C. last year. We can defeat them pushing genocide on our youth in DC, as well as partnering with people in New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey, because it's coming to you folks as well. So when people send me small amounts, it adds up. I'm not trying to be a trillionaire off of people's donations, but I will tell you this. If people were dropping it on me like some of these other people, I can be more effective. And in lieu of that, and Brother Dwann, tell everybody I'm down here meeting with folks about hemp. Folks who are interested in buying CBD, hemp products, and other things. I will pretty soon have samples and things, and that will be a side. I'm not so much into smoking, but I am into health. And on top of that, Brother Dwann, please tell people about Frontline MDs. The coronavirus is getting more dangerous. It is getting more dangerous. You need to get hydroxychloroquine. You need to take vitamin D3. You need vitamin C. You need vitamins. You need zinc, Zycad. You need elderberry. You need quercetin. We need to have a corona show, brother.
Okay.
Very soon. And I can get Dr. Thomas and others. I will send you information of what can be done. But people don't have to die. Don't take the vaccines. And bless me. I need some resources. I mean, so I have a Patreon. And tell people I'm in Twitter. I'm DRS11965. So I can get more information out of more people in communication with me. So, Brother Dwann, I'm going to ask you, and also I'm RandyShort in YouTube. I'm not trying to steal any of your subscribers, but I'm trying to get to 1,000. I have 627 followers. I need to get about 400 more so I can go live. And so, yeah, pray for me, pray for our people, and we need to do more of this. Brother Dwann, I love working with you. I love your channel. I love your audience. And I do love sisters. I just don't want you to be social hermaphrodites. And I don't want men to be bitches with dicks. We can come together. We can beat this. There's nothing too great for God. There's nothing that we can't accomplish. We just have to want to do it. Y'all be blessed. The decade starts in January. We're going into a new era. Be ready, be vigilant, stock up, strap up, guns, food, seeds, buy land. And if you're in California, get the fuck out. We need y'all down south. Y'all need to come out to Kentucky. We need to take that 4 million black folks out of California and put them more strategically out here. It will get you further. Folk need to come back to where they came from. There's nothing out there for you. It's only going to get worse. It's time for black folks to leave the West Coast and come back to the areas where black folks are in larger numbers. And there's about to be, let me tell you, we're going to have a population boom. If they keep people locked up, all they have time to do is screw in the house. We're going to have a population explosion. I know if I was locked up and I was engaged, I'd be afraid about child support if I walked out because there's nothing else to do but look at nice ass and boobs and just, well, why not? Sort of like a walk-in closet or a refrigerator. So we're about to have a population boom. You need to be someplace where you can grow. It's rigged against you. The Asians, the Arabs, the Central Asians, the Koreans, all the people. California is the worst place in the country for black people to be right now. Let that shit sink into the ocean. Come out here. Come back to where you're from, and let's take over some of this before all these illegals and other people fill up here. And then you'll find your families that had land or roots back here, you'll be permanently displaced. Get out of California while you have a chance. That's how I say it. And I don't hate California. I'm not mad at y'all about if you can make it, stay. But you Negroes that are standing on shaky ground, as the Temptations used to sing, get the fuck up out of there.
I hear you, man. I appreciate that, Dr. Short, and thanks for keeping going on. Y'all see Dr. Short's Cash App. I've had it up for the last few minutes. Donate to his Cash App because Dr. Short is doing great things. People are quick to donate. People are quick to fund a lawyer, but they don't want to put money behind the advocates. And it's the advocates that are out there really getting a lot of shit done that the lawyers cannot do. So,
or don't do.
Or don't, or exactly, or don't do. So, yeah, so y'all see that, the Cash App. Y'all see Dr. Randy Short. We will be back later on this week. I have a few other shows later on this week. And I want to make sure I close with this. Yeah, they're not calling the election tonight, but we all know who's going to be in this motherfucker. Just if you know math, you can add up. 270 is needed to win, and Trump is winning. Where Pennsylvania has 20 electoral votes, Carolina has 15, Georgia has 16, Michigan has 16, and Wisconsin has 10. And those are all the 5 states that he's ahead in, while Biden is ahead in Nevada, but they only have 6 electoral votes. So I said I like to say, it looks as if Trump is going to win. We ain't running here being no Republicans. We ain't being no Democrats. We are on the side of black people. And with Trump winning, the way I look at it, black people see the enemy and we know what the fuck to do when we see who our enemy is and we see it's a problem. But if you put Biden in office, too many of us would have fallen back to sleep. So I'm betting on black people. That's why I don't mind Trump being president, because at the end of the day, black people have lived through way worse than Trump. We've lived through Rutherford B. Hayes. We lived through William McKinley. We've lived through George Washington. We lived through all these savage whole motherfuckers. So Trump ain't shit. So I want people to remember this as we sign off. Go to hotepish.com for your t-shirts. We got some new shit coming up. Go to the website, subscribe, like, and remember this. There are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up game. Thank you again, Dr. Short, for coming on, and we'll see you again soon.
Yes, brother. See you then.
All right, see you, man.